Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, your integration buddy. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how do we deploy the integration that we have developed in our previous tutorial to CloudHub 1.0. In our previous tutorial, we developed an integration to load the data from database, MySQL database to Salesforce. And we have used the environment specific configuration file along with the secure properties, and we have deployed and run the application on our local Mule runtime. So let's go ahead and see how do we deploy the same integration to CloudHub 1.0. I opened the project that we developed in our previous tutorial. So to deploy this application to CloudHub 1.0, first we need to change the host name here. So I'll just make it back to 0.0.0.0 so that anyone over the internet can access our MuleSoft application which is deployed on the CloudHub. Okay, and then I'll just click on this icon, which is a rocket icon, and just click on this deploy to CloudHub. Okay, I just will ask for the business group. I'll just choose a residential business group. Okay, so it will create one file called deploy.json, which will list on these properties, which is the runtime we want to deploy, what is the worker size we want to deploy, what is the application name, how many workers we want to deploy, and whether we want to auto start the application or not. Okay, so here we will be adding one more property. Will be I'll just open the MuleSoft documentation which talks about this property, which will define the value for the placeholder environment here. Okay, so if you remember in our previous tutorial, when we ran this application locally, we provided the value of this placeholder in our runtime arguments. But here we will be creating these properties and specify the value of the environment. So environment will be dev. See the same files which we have created, dev.config.yaml, dev.secure.yaml. So dev will be the value of this environment here. Okay, I'll just save deploy.json. And if you remember in our last tutorial, when we ran this application locally, we passed the encryption key as well in the runtime arguments. Okay, so now here, where do we pass that encryption key? So we'll go to mule artifact.json. Okay, and I'll just pass that encryption key over here. You see in the MuleSoft documentation. I'll just copy this, your properties. Okay, and yep, that's it. Okay, and when I click on deploy to CloudHub, and then it will prompt me to enter the value of this encryption key. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and deploy to CloudHub, residential business group. See, it is prompting me for the value of the encryption key. So the encryption key value that I have kept was integration. So I just type that and press enter. Environment should be sandbox. I want to deploy it to my sandbox environment. Okay, so now it's saying that the deployment of the application has started. So first it will be packaging the jar, and then it will be deploying it to CloudHub 1.0. So currently the MuleSoft Anypoint Code Builder supports the automated deployment to CloudHub 1.0. But yes, if you want to deploy it to CloudHub 2.0 or the hybrid deployment, then you can extract or export the jar file and just deploy it to CloudHub 2.0 or on your hybrid deployment. Okay, so yep, you see over here the build was success, and now it is uploading to CloudHub 1.0. So I'll just go over here and into the runtime manager and just refresh it. Okay, it is still not come up here. So yeah, so probably we'll need to wait for some time. Okay, in the meantime, I'll just show you the important documentation links, okay, which talks about how to secure the properties and how to create the environment wise configuration file. So just make a note of these links. I'll make sure to provide these links in the video description as well. Okay, let it deploy. It's uploading to Cloud Hub. So yep, it's now deploying to Cloud Hub. Yep, it has come up over here. So its status is deploying now, and at any moment it should be started. And once the status comes to started, then we'll be able to test our application. In the meantime, let's go to our Salesforce Developer Edition. So here we see this lead data, okay, and it is currently having the 122 leads. So let us delete a couple of records here, and then when we run our application, those records will be inserted back from database to Salesforce. Okay, so I'll just remove these two records over here, Koti Orton and Dana Sinder. So I'll just go over here, delete. Second one is Dana Sinder. So I'll just click here. Yep, delete. Okay, and I'll just take a snapshot of this. Okay, so I'll just refresh it, and now the total leads have now reduced from 122 to 120, and we won't be seeing this data related to these two records in the leads here. Let's scroll down. Yep, so that the data for these two records, Koti and Dana, is not appearing over here. Okay, and once that our Mule application gets deployed to Cloud Hub 1.0, we can test it out, and upon the successful run of the application, it will load these two records back into Salesforce. So yeah, let us see the status of our application. Yep, so it is now in the started state. Just copy this link and go to Postman. Just copy it here, and I'll just put the endpoint at dbsftc, and yeah, just send this request. Yep, we get the message get loaded to Salesforce. We'll just go to our Salesforce account and just refresh it, and I should be seeing 122 leads now. Yep, it's 122 leads, and let us see if the two leads which I have deleted, those are added back or not. So you see over here, Koti Orton and Dana Sinder both are added back, which we have previously deleted. Okay, so yep, that's pretty much guys which I wanted to cover in this session. So how do we deploy the application to Cloud Hub 1.0 and use the configuration files as well as the secure properties. Okay, and to deploy it to Cloud Hub 2.0 or to the hybrid runtime, you can just press Control Shift P and it will open this command palette. So here you can just see the export mule deployable jar. You can just click on this option, and the jar will be downloaded, and then you can just deploy that jar to your Cloud 2.0 hybrid deployment or on the RTF. Okay guys, thank you so much for your time, and if you like this video, do subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.